I guess the story started when I got the manuscript one rainy night in Soho. And I didn't know, of course, it had been turned down by 22 or something other publishers. And I took it home and read it that night. People often say, how much do you have to read before you know something's good? Actually, I think you know after 2 or 3 chapters. And I was just gripped. I was gripped by Harry's situation. The thing that I really liked about the story was the friendship. I like the owls and the boarding school and the magic and Hogwarts, but it was the friendship between the children that really moved me. I gave the manuscript to my daughter, Alice, the night I got it, and she couldn't stop reading, so I had to tear it off her the next morning and say, well, I think I'm going to buy this. What do you think? She said, that's a good idea. So I rang up the agent and we haggled for, 10 minutes on a relatively low amount of money. And I bought the first 2 books and that was that, really. That was the end of perhaps the most significant purchase made in publishing in the last 50 years. I laugh about it now, but, I never would have guessed. Well, when I first rang her up, like many authors, they don't believe it's a publisher or ringing them. They think it's a joke. So after I convinced her I actually was Barry Cunningham and I actually was ringing from a publisher in London, she was lost for words, I think. And I didn't know how long the journey had been, of course. I didn't know how many publishers had turned her down, and agents, indeed. And then I invited her down to London and she said, yes. I said, do you mind a little bit of editorial? And she said, no. She said, very, very nervously, how do you feel about sequels? And I said, well, I think we'll just get the first one out first and then we'll think about that. But then she proceeded to tell me the story of all the books and how Harry would actually grow up. That was very kind of revolutionary in those days because mostly sequels would just be the same book set in a different environment. But I was worried, she was a single mum. She had no real income. Children's books weren't the gold mine that they've become now. And so I gave her the infamous advice, really, was that she would never make any money out of children's books and she should really think about getting a day job as well. After we published, we started absolutely to get the feedback that this was going down very well, that children were recommending it to each other, that it had a very good critical response. But I don't think we realised, I don't think Joe realised, probably for a year after that this phenomenon was growing as fast as it did. And that's when she got huge number of offers from the United States, and they paid a very large amount of money for the American rights. And I think it's at that point we realised that something was changing in the world of children's books.
There's no question it's a publishing phenomenon. Some of the people here have been queuing for 18 hours.
That, if you like, Beatlemania for Pottermore began. I also remember that after the 3rd book was published in the United States, she said, I had a dream last night, and it was about the first meeting that we had, that it never happened, that you never took the book, you never published it, and the whole thing still seems to me like a wonderful dream. And really the story of Harry Potter is like its own story. It is a kind of fairy tale.
Listen carefully and you can even hear it breathing. These extraordinary pictures come from a small camera fitted into the rhino's horn by British scientists. They hope it'll be a key weapon in the fight against poaching.